How you doing? I think I hear the wind. How you doing? 36 degrees, 741. Woo! What do we have? Blue sky, altocumulus clouds, wind continues with a northerly component. And is it too windy for me to talk? I don't know. We better just be better safe than sorry and go to our Dwarf Alberta spruce wind shield. Real fun sky today. Thank you, Joe Kidston and Finn at Nantasket Beach. Where's that big surf they're all talking about? I don't know, but there's a powerhouse of a storm way out there in the ocean dominating the North Atlantic, and that's going to play a role in steering our next nor'easter. First things first, is it snowing in New England? Is this day 18 in a row with snow? Well, New England is very big when you include northern Maine. So yes, it is day 18 in a row. It's snowing in parts of eastern Maine this morning. And it's cooling off a little bit in northern Maine. Now, we've talked about that warm air coming in. Now the warm air is just about done, and we've got colder air feeding into southeastern Canada. So we're going to stay on the cold side of the front here. And that big ocean storm is sending an upper level low kind of wobbling, upper level low, wobbling into southeastern Canada with colder air aloft. So that does two things. It keeps us on the colder side, and it also takes this next system, winter storm warning in effect in Iowa, coming right at us, looking like it's in a perfect position to get us, but it's steered off to the south. So I don't think I'm going to be able to qualify this Saturday storm as a nor'easter because it's headed towards the southeast, even though if you're on Cape Cod on Saturday, it's going to look and feel like a nor'easter just without much rain or snow. Wind from the northeast at 20 to 40 miles an hour, probably some drizzle in the air. Parts of Connecticut and New York are getting a few inches of snow, so that's part of that North Atlantic block being too strong for our own good. Storm in California, snow level going up to 8,000 feet. That's terrible news. Been watching the news out of California. We're trying to get there, but it's questionable whether we're actually going to be able to go. I mean, this is historic. It's terrible what's happening in California, and I'm not joyful at all at way too much snow. Is the wind overwhelming my... Get back here. Just wanted to show you the view of Boston. The storm coming into California now is going to break into pieces, as I say all the time, and part of it's going to be coming across the country, and it's on our doorstep here over the weekend. And it looks like we're going to have kind of a gray, windy weekend in southeastern New England, but as you move north, the mountains, looks like a great weekend for skiing. There's been a net gain of a few inches of snow this week. We're practically at the climatological average at the snow stake on Mount Mansfield, just shy of 70 inches. And I don't think we're going to add too much to that over the next couple of days, but we're not losing any either. Anyhow, nice weekend in northern New England. Southern New England, not that bad either. And then on Sunday night, that storm is coming into Pennsylvania. A pretty wide variety of guidance offering different solutions, with the Euro being the strongest and the warmest. It actually tries to take a storm inland and loop it around over land next Monday night and Tuesday. And seeing as I've never really seen that before in my life, I don't think that's going to happen. GFS seems much more logical way out to sea, but it seems too far out to sea. So if you take the Euro solution for, this is 6Z Tuesday, which right now, before we change our clocks, is 5 hours difference, but it'll be 4 hours difference. Oh, I don't like that in the guidance. So that'll be 2 a.m. Sorry about that. 2 a.m. on Tuesday. I'll show that again. There's the GFS way out there. There is the Euro way in there. Both formidable storms, but a huge difference on sensible weather. Euro would be kind of warm and just damp in southern New England. GFS would be windy, wet, and white. And then there's a sea surface temperature. Benchmark is 40 degrees north, 70 degrees west. I think benchmark is the call on this. I think we do get a blizzard loop. That is, when a storm comes up, it stalls, it retrogrades north, then west, then south, and out, thanks to the upper level low cutting off. So it's a vertically stacked system, potentially here. And once it gets here Monday, I do kind of like the GFS and other guidance idea that it's not completely done until Thursday. So this could be the storm of the winter so far. And yes, there is potential for feet of snow coming in here and dangerous wind and erosion at the shore, but thankfully our moon tide is easing, so the tides are not running that strong. And then there's another huge storm in the middle of the nation, supposedly, in 10 days. We've seen the Euro in the last couple of weeks try and push the warm air back up the East Coast for this time right now, and it hasn't worked. But you've got to think that this Atlantic blocking is going to give way, so we may get a warmer wedge in here sometime before the vernal equinox, and then end up with more active weather the second half of March. It's really contorted and spectacular, really. 500 millibar flow with look at that number of troughs. A lot of cold air on our side of the North Pole. Even Hawaii is a flood watch and a wind warning. Those systems coming into the West Coast have origins both from Alaska and Hawaii. Not good. I know a lot of people are excited for this storm in New England. I'm hoping to not be here for that, but plans change, don't they? All right, yesterday went back down to the Hingham shipyard. Talked 2 days ago about the traffic coming off the ferries, the human traffic. Well, I'm just watching the ferries. You know how I love my time lapse. Yes, and speaking of time, there's a request for these things to go quicker, so I'm gonna work on that. See you later. What is time anyway? T-I-M. Tim with an E. Time. Ha-ha. Time to look at that ferry last evening. Pretty. Almost flying saucer clouds. Look a little bit like lenticularis, but really there's nothing to cause them to go up and down other than upper level energy. Are we done with that backdoor warm front? I'd say. Feels a little bit warmer, even though the air is still coming from the north. Thought we'd come down here and show you where the ferries come and go. I love the time lapse. Finger freezing cold, hard to hold it steady. Gorgeous sunset. Here at the shipyard. Almost some lenticularis up there in the sky.